Welcome to the Tesla Economist. Please hit the thumbs up and remember to subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter and talk to me on Patreon. For a good part of 2021, I was focusing on what was happening with Tesla in China, particularly at the Model Y Gigafactory, as soon as we saw that Tesla had broken through the alleged capacity that we were told as early as August, only about 8 months into production with this new factory. We had actually also witnessed Tesla break the capacity of the Model 3 factory in December 2020 at around 24,000 units, which at an annual rate would come to about 290,000, and the claim capacity was only 250,000. Yet once the Model Y factory was functional, we haven't seen Tesla higher than this number since. Obviously, the initial thought was that the factory had hit capacity, but what if Tesla is simply battery constrained and decided to allocate any additional batteries to the Model Y factory? Model Y gets precedence over the Model 3 because it's a lot more profitable. I've heard that supposedly a Model Y even costs less to produce than a Model 3, what with the gigapresses and other advances. Yet the Model Y also sells for a higher price tag, the best of both worlds, and good reason to therefore encourage more Model Y production. In other words, it makes sense to point all resources to build up the Model Y production as fast as possible. Now, although we have been seeing supply chain issues, and obviously chip shortages, which has had some effect on production, the overall constraint of production is still, and will be for a really long time, the supply of batteries. Now, CATL is the largest battery manufacturer, and Tesla has a great relationship with CATL and are their biggest customer. Therefore, CATL decided to build a new battery fab in the same park as Tesla's Giga Shanghai factory. This factory was only announced in August. CATL claim it will have an 80 gigawatt hour a year capacity, but the crazy thing is that CATL are rumoured to already be at 60% capacity. But that's China for you. This is what they excel at, rapid speed of factories and production. It is obviously not a coincidence that CATL built this factory so close to Tesla. The question is, will this factory be exclusively for Tesla? It will save a lot of cost in delivery, as the factory is now so much closer. Will this be the factory that solely supplies Tesla vehicles in China, and the remaining CATL batteries may be used for Tesla in Fremont and Tesla Energy? Now back to the Model Y. Tesla is selling a standard range version of the Model Y in Asia with CATL's LFP batteries, and they managed to get an adequate range from these vehicles. As they are rear-wheel drive, they also only use one powertrain, which Elon has also said he's had supply issues with, at least at one stage. But either way, the standard model uses less components. We have witnessed Tesla Model Ys coming out of the factory as frequently as every 38 seconds. Just to remind you, that's 880,000 Model Ys a year. The standard models use a 60 kilowatt hour battery. If CATL are producing 80 gigawatt hours and Tesla are using 60 kilowatt hour batteries in the standard range, then this comes to enough batteries for 1.3 million standard range vehicles. Now that would be if Tesla purchased 100% of CATL's batteries, but is that not a possibility that Tesla would? Why would CATL build a factory fab so close to Tesla if this was not the case? Even if Tesla don't purchase 100%, then it surely has to be the vast majority, as in enough batteries for at least 1 million standard range vehicles. But hold up, we have 880,000 at maximum capacity for Model Y at what is likely an unsustainable rate, and this is not accounting for downtime. And we have potentially another 250,000 for Model 3, and these are the totals of all vehicles, not just the standard range. Therefore, the total capacity, including downtime, would still be well below 1 million units a year. Therefore, Tesla would not be able to use this many batteries anyway. Sure, some might be used for energy storage, but I don't see the point in CATL building so close to Giga Shanghai if that was the case. Therefore, it seems quite obvious to me what could actually happen. Well, look at the discrepancy. We have Model Y with a capacity of almost 900,000 units a year. Then we have Model 3, which is a 25% larger factory than the Model Y, with a capacity at 250,000, almost 1/4 the amount. Seems obvious now, doesn't it? Why would a smaller factory be making 4 times as many vehicles? Towards the end of 2021, we did also hear rumours that Model 3 was running at a rate of 2,000 vehicles a day as well, which is 730,000 a year. Bear in mind that although Model 3 is a larger facility, it is not taking advantage of the likes of the Gigapress, which allow more units per square foot, as it removes 300 robots and processes from the factory floor. But either way, if we add up 730,000 with 880,000, then we're at 1.6 million vehicles a year total capacity. Then if we're at 80% uptime, then that's 1.3 million vehicles a year, i.e. the number of cars capable of being produced from the 80 gigawatt hour a year CATL battery facility up the road. Alright, Tesla also produced some long range and performance models there too, So perhaps Tesla cannot entirely use all of CATL's production, or at least perhaps not right now. But just how CATL were able to construct their battery fab at lightning speed, well, Tesla are also able to benefit from Chinese productivity too. If you recall, in November, Tesla announced an $188 million investment to expand the Shanghai factory. That is still a significant amount of capital, added on to what Tesla already have in Shanghai. And recently, we've just heard that Tesla plan on expanding their workforce significantly too. What will all these expansions be for? Well, they will likely increase Tesla's vehicle production rate even further. Some people think this is for the compact model. I do not think this is the case. Even 80 gigawatt hours will not be close to enough to cover enough demand for that vehicle. Why bother selling a 25,000 vehicle when you can sell a 50,000 vehicle with the same batteries? There is obviously a lot more profit in a Model Y than a compact Tesla, and I don't think the compact Tesla will go into production without first getting a public reveal. Now, as I said, Tesla are also able to benefit from rapid construction rates we see in China, and are thus making huge progress on the expansion at Giga Shanghai. I don't think Tesla are going to build 4680 batteries in China for a few reasons. Therefore, this expansion will only likely further increase production in Shanghai. It could take Shanghai production to a high enough level to use all of the CATL 80 gigawatt hour year production, maybe taking total production to closer to 1.5 million units a year. 1.33 million standard ranges from the CATL factory, and another 167,000 for performance and long-range vehicles. Right, that does sound far-fetched, but we have CATL already at 60% of their 80 gigawatt hour capacity in just a few months. It is not going to take CATL long until they're at full capacity. Why do you think Tesla are expanding Giga Shanghai if they didn't have new batteries coming? Why do you think Tesla are testing run rates of nearly 900,000 units a year? Also, why expand if they're already at a 900,000 rate and need more room? It may take Tesla some time to reach these rates, but we're talking sometime this year, and the rate at which things happen in China, they're most likely the first half of this year, as this expansion will likely happen very fast. Really though, Tesla may already be able to produce a rate of 1.2 million units a year now, considering that CATL have already started delivering batteries to Tesla from their new fab. Even if Shanghai only produced a total of 1.2 million units for the entire year, this will blow everyone away. I know this sounds too good to be true, but that's Tesla. You think of things like this that are too good to be true, and then Tesla even beat those expectations. It would seem that these standard range Model Ys are very popular, which is hardly surprising given how popular just the long range versions are in the US. So imagine being able to get a Model Y for about $12,000 less. Of course, it's going to be popular, as in Tesla can most likely sell this many vehicles, as if Tesla's market share isn't already big enough in only China alone already. This will mean Tesla absolutely dominate. China is a huge market. Tesla are not messing around. They've been continually expanding these factories, just like Tesla will continue to expand Austin and Berlin once they are built. Tesla are already battery constrained, and they suddenly get 80 gigawatt hours a year more batteries. This is what Tesla needs for growth. Tesla's objective is to make as many EVs as they possibly can. This aligns with that objective. But please let me know how I may have misinterpreted any of this. It is of course possible even that China simply becomes the standard range hub for all the vehicles as the other factories move over to 4680 batteries. No, there will not be a standard range 4680 version. I don't think we will see the new factories produce a standard range until Tesla have their own in-house LFP batteries. But seeing how quickly CATL are able to ramp up their LFP batteries, then perhaps Tesla might be able to too. Although I think the CATL batteries are still prismatic and Tesla are bound to use cylindrical LFP as the production speed is that much faster, and perhaps Tesla can ramp up their 4680 production lines as fast as CATL can ramp up their battery lines. Not many people seem to realize, but 80 gigawatt hours is a huge capacity for batteries. Like I said, nearly 1.5 million cars a year. Might I remind you, Tesla didn't even make 1 million cars last year. Are you starting to realize the gravity of the situation? Tesla, China, will no doubt surprise us again in 2022. Thanks for listening. Please hit the thumbs up and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter and talk to me on Patreon.